Have the results from the redistricting referendum. The yes votes have it as it passed with about 51% of the vote. Virginia will now have new temporary congressional maps if the referendum passes additional legal hurdles. About 3 million votes were cast in the election. Roanoke City voted yes, while Salem City and Roanoke County voted no. Now, if tonight's vote stands, the 6th district, among others, will be totally redrawn. Republican Congressman Ben Cline has represented the district since 2019. The new 6th is expected to make it much easier for a Democrat to flip the seat for the first time since 1993. Former 5th District Congressman Tom Perriello tonight formally announced he'll be one of the Democrats seeking the nomination to challenge Cline in November. In a statement moments ago sent to WFXR, he said, quote, "It's time to fire congressmen like Ben Cline who jacked up costs to protect the corrupt." We reached out to Congressman Cline, but have not yet received a response. And we've been getting statements from Republicans and Democrats on the passage of the new congressional map. Speaker of the House, Don Scott, said, quote, "We trusted the voters, not politicians. We put this legislation on the ballot because we believe power belongs to the people. And tonight, the people of Virginia answered." The chairman of the state Republicans, Jeff Ryer, called tonight's results disappointing. He said, quote, "Evidently, a sufficient number of Virginians trusted the blatantly dishonest language the Democrats placed on the ballot to make our Commonwealth the most severely gerrymandered state in the nation." For more on the result, we turn to our own Sam Graham, who caught up with Virginia Tech political analyst Dr. Karen Holt for instant analysis of Virginia's narrow yes vote.
Virginia has made its decision, and that decision is yes. That'll amend the state constitution, giving the Commonwealth's Democrat-controlled General Assembly the ability to temporarily redraw congressional maps 4 years before the 2030 census. And though the measure passed, it did so along a razor-thin margin.
I am not surprised by the narrow margin of the vote for a variety of reasons. I think this vote was controversial on many grounds for both Democrats and Republicans, as well as certainly for many independent voters as well.
The margin will fall well below that with which Abigail Spanberger, largely cast as a champion of the yes vote, won the gubernatorial election just last fall, which Holt says could point to this decision being less partisan than it was portrayed.
It was cast as a partisan issue from the beginning, even though in many ways one could argue it was a little bit more of a who should be making these decisions and who should be deciding who represents me in a House district.
She also says the Democrat-backed measure put Spanberger, who has opposed gerrymandering in the past, in a difficult position.
I'm not sure she was ever that much in favor of it. Beyond that, she had nothing to do with it. This was a position that the Democrats in the legislature put her into.
While the Virginia State Supreme Court still has to make a decision regarding the measure, Holt believes it's poised to hold up. However, she pointed out that some political analysts have argued Democrats may have been able to pick up a few congressional seats even without redistricting, given the way the political tides may have been leaning. She argues that this measure could end up disenfranchising some voters, which could ultimately impact the November midterm elections.
What it does do, however, is reinforce a sense of many parts of the state. Folks in Richmond are not listening to what we're doing. And so that may add to the disaffection with politics generally, which could affect turnout.
While this measure gives the General Assembly the power to redraw congressional maps, that still has to be officially done. So Holt says it could still be some weeks before congressional candidates know for sure which districts they will run in and who they will run against. Back at 10:30 with more coverage of this decision. For now, I'm Sam Graham. Back to you, Ron.
All right, Sam, thank you. Remember, WFXR is your local election headquarters. For more information about the special election and other upcoming elections later this year, you can visit the link you see there on your screen.